Hello everyone, Todd Hussey here again with Cloud Revenue Partners. We're going to start the webinar. Let's get into it. A little bit of homework. We would love to hear questions. So in the chat section, please do that. We'll be monitoring that, and we will be on demand with questions. Hopefully, there's some interaction here. It is being recorded, and without anything else to do, we'll get going. This is myself again, Todd Hussey, founder and CEO of Cloud Revenue Partners. Our purpose in life is to help MSPs make a very profitable, high value, high margin, high equity business out of the cloud. And my compadre is Madge, and he'll be monitoring the chat section. So what's today's webinar, or actually I like to call these web shops, because again, I like to see them interactive and provide some thought leadership and education in terms of many topics. This is the second web shop we are doing, number 2 of 6. Last month was an overview of all of the future web shops. So this is number 1 of the series of the 5 post the overview of all the web shops. Today we're going to talk about something that's incredibly near and dear to my heart, because I think it's so incredibly important to an MSP today. So the why and the how to create a differentiated business outcomes focused value prop. I really want to focus on 2 words here, business outcomes. And so let's get into really what that means. And if I can press the button correctly, I will do that. But let's really talk about kind of the essence of why we are here. Myself, SureWeb, every MSP that's on the line here. The way I look at it, the why is to capitalize on the 6 trillion. That's trillion with a T. That's not billion with a B, but the $6 trillion digital business transformation opportunity out there. Think about it. How many businesses out there that have not become digital are starting to evaporate? All of the retail stores are really hurting because of Amazon. Amazon is column born digital. Look at the taxi businesses that are hurting severely because of Uber and Lyft and so on. Look at Blockbuster, that doesn't exist anymore, and they were crushed by Netflix. And it goes on and on and on and on. And it's not just those big names. It's every business in the world needs to become digital. And the reason why, it's being driven by the customer. So let's say that this is why we are here, which I completely agree with. And so that is the opportunity for you, okay? But what's needed? SureWeb's needed. Why is SureWeb is needed? SureWeb is providing all of the relevant cloud technologies and services to be able to help every business in the world become a digital business. It could be a 25-person law firm. I just recently sold my house and moved. The real estate company I dealt with was a digital business real estate company. There was no paperwork. Everything was done with digital signature. There was all emails, no phone calls. We had Skype calls. They had great analytics on their website of how many viewers were seeing my house and so on and so on. They were digital. The law firm I was dealing with, 50-person, very good law firm, is not digital. It was all paperwork. It was all phone calls. It was all mailing things. It was FedExing things. And I told them that they were not a digital business because my customer experience CX, customer experience, is the epicenter of digital business transformation. And I told them that. My customer experience was terrible with a law firm, and I told them they're going to be in trouble if they don't become a digital business. Where the real estate for a company was wonderful, phenomenal customer experience. So on the far left, we have all the technologies and the solutions and the services. On the far right, we have the massive opportunity. What's missing? You. This is your job. You as an MSP have the responsibility, if you choose to do it, to go capture that a piece of that $6 trillion market, because you're educated enough to go to a customer and understand their desired business outcomes to help them become a digital business. And you have all the resources and the technologies at SureWeb to make it happen. This is by far the largest opportunity in cloud, bar none, per Gartner. Gartner would call you, in their fancy terminology, a cloud services brokerage. I'm going to simplify it. I'm going to call you a CSP or a modern MSP, but it's the middleman that's going to help the customers become a digital business with the help of SureWeb. This is the massive opportunity. It's here today. But what are the cold hard facts of you becoming, let's just say it's a modern MSP right now? Your cheese has moved. If anybody's ever read the book, Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Spencer Johnson, your cheese has moved where the number one buyer of technology, including cloud, of course, are now the business managers. They are owning the budgets. They are buying technologies today and now asking IT to deploy it. IT is becoming much, much less involved in the decisions of what is being used and purchased by the head of marketing, as an example. The bad news is the IT department's less involved. The good news is you have a lot more people to sell to, all the different business managers. The second thing, the business managers don't give a hoot about technology. All they care about is to solve their business problems, to achieve their desired business outcomes. And that is what your job is to be able to go to them and help them achieve their desired business outcomes. The third thing, these business managers are pretty smart. They are researching and in many times making a decision on technologies before contacting the supplier. So when you're approaching these business managers, you have to be smart as well. You have to go in the door and know their business to an extent and to be able to speak their language to an extent. But all this is good. More people to sell to. These 5 or 6 different business managers in the company all have budget and are spending it. So you have to adapt to your cheese has moved. Your cheese is acting differently. They want different things, and your cheese is smart. But these are all very, very achievable hurdles / opportunities for you. So a couple of what the things that are extremely relevant in our world today. We all know this quote, and this is a quote for our end clients, but it's also a quote for you. It's not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent. It's the one that's the most adaptable to change. Just ask Blockbuster. They never changed. Just ask all the big retailers. They didn't change fast enough. But the same thing goes for us. On MSP or VAR, whatever you want to call yourself, we have to adapt or die. I also love this quote. This one is dead center. If you don't like change, you'll like irrelevance even less. Again, who has become irrelevant blockbuster. But again, the same thing goes for us. Let's get into, if anybody's ever read a phenomenal ebook series put out by Microsoft and IDC. It's called the Microsoft IDC Modern Partner Ebook Series. One of the big sections in there is talking about strategy and how a partner, a Microsoft partner, as an example, needs to create a differentiated business value proposition. Exactly what we're talking about here today. I put up this slide just to show you that it's a 5 ebook series. And again, I encourage you to download it. Much of what my firm does for partners is identical, virtually identical to what's in the Microsoft ebook series. So I encourage you to take a look at it. I encourage you to look at the section of what we're talking about today, which is defining your value proposition, meaning why you. What I also like to say is, why are you relevant? And that's something you should be asking yourself, because you need to be relevant to what the customers are looking for today. So why is it so important today? Well, yesterday, and we've all, everyone on this call has probably all been around for a while, right? And we have always, to date, have sold technology to IT. It's been a technology value proposition to that one person that understands technology. It could be Microsoft products, it could be Cisco routers, it could be anything in the technology world going back over decades. And it's really been the value proposition that you've been delivering has been the Cisco value proposition, feeds and speeds, or the Microsoft's technology value proposition, or you name any vendor out there, you've been representing their value proposition and you've been the delivery vehicle of it with your services and managed services and so on. And it's always been one size fits all. So what does that mean? It means when you're selling, quote unquote, the technology, it's really been the same technology to the same person or people, the IT people, and it's been the same technologies no matter what types of companies you've been selling to, for the most part, whether large or small or any types of verticals or sub-verticals. It's really been one size fits all because it's been solving technology problems, which have been basically the same problems across different verticals, different sub-verticals, and different IT organizations. And it's always been, we're the best at this, the fastest this, the quickest service delivery of this. We have the best engineers for this. And I'm not trying to demean anybody here, but this has been what we've been living for the past 20, 30, 40 years. Whether you've been selling PBXs or routers or servers, it didn't really matter. But there's a big shift today. It's going back to the business managers are the new buyer. We've been talking about that. And these new buyers are looking for business outcomes. They're going through their buyer's journey. So what do you need to do? You need to create and sell value. You need to create your own value proposition. The days of being able to take the vendor's value proposition of the technology and translate that into your speak, if you will, and take that technology product and sell it to IT is becoming less and less relevant today. Just because your cheese has moved, your cheese wants different things, and your cheese is really smart. And they now are looking for someone that can provide their value. So the modern MSP, if you will, creates their value of what they can do to help that vice president of marketing achieve his or her desired business outcomes. I remember reading, must have been 15 years ago, the CEO of IBM, and I forget which one it was, talked about and predicted, this was probably 20 years ago, in a letter to all of his shareholders and employees, predicted that the days of selling technology to IT are going away, and the people that are going to survive, and he was talking to IBM at the time, to all of his shareholders and employees, the ones that are going to survive, meaning IBM, we need to get into the services business and differentiate ourselves with services and software and create a different compelling value proposition to the business people. I remember this vividly. Again, it was probably close to 20 years ago, predicting what was going to happen where the CIOs of the world are becoming less relevant. So, what is a value proposition? So, we happen to use with our clients a value proposition generator tool. It's really a look in the mirror of what your inherent value is. So, what are you really good at? And we use this value proposition generator to help spur the self conversation, if you will, with yourself or within your company. We really need to look in the mirror and where can we thrive? What are we excellent at that customers are going to look at us and say, boy, they have an incredible value proposition. It's very timely, and it really is something that we need. So here is an example of a value proposition that we have worked on with one of our clients. And again, these are very specific to you. I or no one can go and tell you, here's your value proposition. This is something that you really need to think through. I'll just walk through this in a second. And this you'll follow the logic here of how this works. What's in the blue is what you or anybody would fill out, again, as you're developing your value proposition. For C-level executives and senior management, CEOs, CFO, COO, VP marketing sales, at regional banks, hotel chains, and manufacturing companies, I'll stop right here and say that's really very important here as you go through your value proposition, because the next step you're going to want to go through, which is actually next month's web shop, is to specialize and verticalize, because to deliver an excellent value proposition, they're going to want to hear you talk their language. So if you can talk the right language to the COO at a regional bank, you are so much further ahead than everybody else. Again, but we're going to get into the detail on that in the next web shop. So for C-level executives and senior management at these specific verticals who understand, to be competitive, the need to transform their overall business or enter into the digital age. Okay? And want digital transformation expertise to guide them through their digital transformation journey. Now we're starting to peel the onion away of what our expertise and value proposition is. The ABC Companies suite of cloud-based technologies and managed services. Now we get into what we are doing for those personas is solely designed to be the one source to transform our clients into the digital age. So it sounds like we're thinking we're digital business transformation experts for these particular verticals and sub-verticals in the titles or the personas. that combines, this is how we're delivering this, that combines cloud-based technologies, people, and processes dedicated 100% to business for digital business transformation. Unlike traditional technology providers, which is very true, that have limited to no domain experience, meaning to these specific verticals, cloud technologies expert experience, and digital transformation experience. Now we're differentiating ourselves versus the competition. ABC Companies, that's us, with its digital transformation managed service, is an industry proven leader when it comes to bringing any company from yesterday's non digital business model to today's digital age. So, this is the look in the mirror, peel the onion away in creating your value proposition. It's a modeling tool we use with all of our clients to start really honing in on what is our inherent value in differentiated solution that we can provide to specific vertical sub-verticals and the personas that have the money. And it goes further into this to create the elevator pitch. So this is the beginning of how you really should be thinking about how you create your differentiated value proposition because of all the elements in the business that's changed today. And it doesn't say a hoot about technology in here. Because remember, the people that are buying the technology are the people that don't really care about the technology, they care about business outcomes. Let's go through another one quickly, which is a little higher or a little lower level. Here is another one of our clients that we work with to do this. Of course, not going to name their name. Same concept. For senior management business managers at and IT at regional banks, insurance companies, accounting firms with less than 100 staff. So we're just starting to define of who we're going to target, who are using yesterday's non-cloud technologies to run their business and want to learn to become how to become more efficient and productive. The ABC Modern MSP suite of cloud-based technologies, training, and managed services. And here's one of the keys here, is designed to help our clients enter the world of cloud-based technologies. In this case, this MSP that we worked with wanted to crawl, if you will, into introducing cloud technologies to their clients. The previous one was kind of going full bore into transforming their clients into digital businesses. Again, two different MSPs or modern MSPs with different experience levels. And this one happened to be here. We're going to now start introducing cloud technologies and not quote unquote the full Monty of digital business transformation. That combines cloud-based technologies, people, and processes dedicated to help them achieve their desired business outcomes. Here comes the desired business outcomes thing again, because again, the business managers are wanting that. Unlike traditional technology providers that lack cloud technologies experience, which is very true, of the 200,000 or so technology solutions providers in North America, there are many, many more that are not in the cloud business than are in the cloud business. So that to me spells nothing other than opportunity for you guys on the line to work with SureWeb to get into the cloud business, because I'm going to call it a greenfield opportunity. Many, many, many of your competitors, if you will, are still break fix businesses and not in the cloud business, and you have the opportunity to leapfrog them and go to this greenfield opportunity. The modern MSP, with its cloud technologies, training, and managed services, is a proven leader when it comes to helping clients achieve their desired business outcomes with cloud. And again, it gets into the elevator pitch. So these are just two simple examples of two different MSPs, if you will, that have different value propositions. But at the end of the day, it's all about they are changing their value proposition based on we've been talking about the cheese. So now what? You have a value proposition generator, right? You have this top layer of the onion. And again, this is you working with your team to rally around this value proposition where you're going to build the business. It's the core piece of the business. And again, in the next 4 months, we're going to go through the next layers of the onion of how to build the business. We're going to go through the personas, the verticals and subverticals. We're going to get into creating cloud solutions bundles. We're going to be getting into the marketing and sales elements or so. So at the end of our sessions, we're going to have taught you the MSP in a box model or modern MSP in the box model. So now you have your value proposition generator, you're working on it with your team. Now translate that into a value proposition PowerPoint. I come from the world of less is more. When you're talking to a client and you have your elevator pitch, you have some email scripts, you have your value prop PowerPoint, I recommend 5 to 7 pages value prop PowerPoint, which basically takes the value prop generator and translates that into slides. A lot of visuals, maybe a little bit of animation. And again, work with your team on this because this is the core value that you're going to be going to market with. Then translate that very, very simply to your website. I use the analogy, and we're going to get into this, and I think it's the next to the last web shop we do. Your website should not be a Ferrari. Ferraris are beautiful. Ferraris are expensive. Ferraris break, and nobody cares. Your website should be an Audi A4. It works. It's perfect. It gets you where you want to go. The website needs to reflect your value proposition. Because you know as well as I, when you go visit a customer or send an email, they're going to go directly to your website, that whatever you spoke to them about or whatever you sent the email about, does your website say the same thing? And it has to articulate a business outcomes focused value proposition. And again, next month we're going to get into the personas. The website needs to talk persona speak. Next thing you want to do is your elevator pitch. And again, you saw a little snippet of that in the value proposition generator tool, but that was only a little piece of it. This is really, really important. Again, and your team needs to rally around this. It needs to be your mantra. Next thing we're going to do is create some email scripts. And those email scripts are going to be all about your value proposition. It's all going to be about business outcomes, and they're going to be custom to the personas you're going after. We're living in a B to persona world today, not a B to B, business to business, business to individual people, because these individual people have different needs. And from there, all the content you're going to use. Maybe you're doing 2 to 3 minute explainer videos. Maybe you're doing infographics. Maybe you're doing web shops like this. All the content you're going to use in your marketing and sales campaigns, all of that comes from the value proposition that you started working on a while ago. So this is why it's that important to have a differentiated business outcomes value proposition. It's not easy. It takes a lot of thinking. And what we help our clients with is we get them started with our modeling tools and walk them through them, and again start peeling away the onion. I use the analogy, the value prop is like an arrow. The sharper the tip of the arrow, the further it's going to go, and everything else becomes easier. If your value proposition is a blunt arrow, everything else gets harder. Your sales gets much harder. So that, please don't take this lightly, but don't kill yourself doing it, because it will morph over time as our industry morphs over time. So we have a free offer, and the free offer from Cloud Revenue Partners is we do these all the time. We offer to SureWeb's partners a one-on-one MRR, monthly recurring revenue, cloud business assessment. It's a 45-minute screen share where we walk you through and ask you a lot of questions about your current business. And there are 5 buckets of questions. The first bucket of questions has to do with your value proposition, what we just talked about. And we will discuss with you about your current value proposition. And we're going to ask you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being highest. To what extent do you have the business outcomes focused value proposition? Again, in a lot of questions. And every time we do this, we ask the partner to self-rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 5. The remaining 4 have everything to do with the next 4 monthly sessions we're having. So our free offer to you today is, we on our end, Cloud Revenue Partners, will have a 45-minute assessment of your business from value proposition to personas and so on and so on, again, following our sessions, the web shop sessions. And we'll also offer a free follow-up. So the total perfect score is a 25. If you come after the first session, you score a 12, by the way, is the average of what we've done in the past, probably 50. Perfect score is 5. The average has been about a 12. So we'll have a follow-up call. The follow-up call will talk about each one of the 5 buckets and our recommendations of what you might do to enhance your value proposition and enhance your website and so on. Because our goal working with SureWeb is to take every one of the partners and for them to go from a 12 to a 25, as an example. This is a proven methodology that we have been doing since 2011. Our very first big partner in doing this was Google. And this is a proven methodology we've been doing, and it always starts with an assessment. It's similar to what we preach to our modern MSP clients when they're selling cloud, is to go do an assessment of their business and how cloud and everything that's in the SureWeb portfolio can help them achieve their desired business outcomes. So I urge you just to get a good snapshot of your business. It's free. There isn't a single person or organization that goes through this that doesn't say, Cloud Revenue Partners, that was really worth my 45 minutes. And almost 100% request a follow-up call where we just give free advice. So I think we said this was a 45-minute call. I think we have about 6 or 7 minutes to go. Madge, any questions, any comments, any?
I don't see any questions that came. Oh, I actually just saw one right now. So what steps should I follow when trying to determine what I am really good at in order to help build a value prop around it?
You
I
start with
do, and then Yeah, and then he just ends by saying, I do everything today.
I don't know what that means, but I, my suggestion, if you have 45 minutes, let's do the assessment. Um, and if we want to, I will add to that. I will do the value prop generator with that person and walk them through it. The first step is the value prop generator. It's used. It's a document to get you self-thinking, as opposed to having a blank piece of paper and say, what is my value proposition? The generator spurs thought in a methodical way. So my offer to everyone is we could do the full Monty assessment, and or we could do the value prop generator. I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't know if that
Perfect.
answers the question.
I think that's great. And if the gentleman still has more questions, please send them. I actually do have a quick request from Eric Todd. He is asking for the link to download the Microsoft ebook. So maybe you can send it over to me, and we will make sure to include it within the follow-up emails. And yes, of course, everyone, just like the recording and the PowerPoint presentation will also be included.
Yep. If I hope the link's still up. So, but yes, I'll look for the link.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Another question is, how do I find out what my customers' business outcomes or what they want to help build my value prop?
That's a great question.
That's a good one.
It really is.
Yep.
I can't tell you for the clients that work with us, that is the biggest, I won't say fear, um, is I've been selling tech to techs, and I've had this just 2 days ago. One of my clients said, I'm scared to go talk to the business managers. I said, oh, don't be scared. Come on. I'm going to go back to Stephen Covey and say two of his, if I didn't mention them already, habit number 2 of his 7 habits of highly effective people is begin with the end in mind. So park that for a second. Habit number 5 is seek first to understand, then to be understood. So think about that. Think about talking to I'm just going to pick a title, the head of marketing. It's a non-technology conversation. So please don't speak a word of technology. Ask open-ended questions. Begin with the end in mind. What are your desired business outcomes? Tell me about your business. What are your challenges? What are your goals? What are your objectives? How many people do you have? How many remote workers? Get to know the person and their challenges. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Please use them appropriately. So begin with the end in mind, meaning his or her end game, desired business outcomes, and seek first to understand them to be understood, meaning understand them before you want them to understand you. Those are 2 phenomenal principles that are so important when you're talking to these people, that they're important people. They have big jobs, and their job is on the line every day because they need to achieve their desired business outcomes. You're the middleman to do all the listening. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Begin with the end in mind, and take a huge amount of notes. And the next step's going to be to help design a solution solely for their business needs. I don't know if that
Awesome.
helps at all.
That's perfect, Todd. Thank you. So just a quick side note from a couple of people asking, how do we do the assessment? So I'm assuming you just send an email to Todd and
Yep,
let him know that you're a SureWeb partner and
yep,
that you're part of this series, right?
yep.
It's simple. And in case maybe for some folks, if you're not looking at the screen, Todd's email is Todd with 2 Ds at cloudrevenuepartners with an S in the end.com. Another question, please, folks, keep them coming. Oh, there's also do you need to test various value proposition options with customers to confirm the ones that are relevant and the best they can be, or or do you just go with one and go all in? So it's like more of the question related to, do you do A/B testing? Do you create multiple value propositions and try different ones, or do you just go ahead with one?
So your value proposition version 1 is the best you can do using the value proposition generator, creating the value prop deck, and so on. A value proposition is a living and breathing thing. But please don't take hard left turns and hard right turns, because your value proposition is you and what you can do with excellence. And so don't, if you know, if you're good at cooking steak, don't, and that's your expertise. But no, I want to be a professional baseball player. Well, that's probably not going to happen. Um, so it's your inherent expertise and value, and most importantly, what you feel comfortable with and what you like to do. And but your value proposition is going to morph over time because of you and because of the industry we're in.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Todd. Only one question left, and please, folks, keep them coming if you have any more questions. How can you help me if I don't know really where to start? So can you also suggest maybe, Todd? That's really a question for someone that's really starting their business, it seems. Um,
I keep on going back to you have to create your value. You have to understand what your value is. Um, I keep on going there. You have to. Um, it, I have a daughter. Her her value proposition, or her passion, is a musician. Okay, that's wonderful. So what is your you have to, it's, again, it's a in the mirror conversation, and I can help you do that, but it is some thinking, and it goes back to, if you're really good at something, discover it and get better at it and enjoy doing it. Because, and if you do that, you'll find the clients that are right for you and make them successful. But you have to start somewhere. So I keep on going back to the value prop generator, because you have to. I'm a big notebook person, and I take notes all the time at night, and it's my kind of white sheet of paper of my noodling of what I'm supposed to be doing every day. I created a tool for you to do it, so it's not a white piece of paper.
Perfect. Thank you, Todd. I don't see any additional questions coming in, so maybe we can give our partners some time and ask you to please, if you have any questions, still have 15 more minutes.
I encourage you to take us up on the offer.
Mhm.
My model, if you will, is education and thought leadership. And I've been doing this a heck of a long time, and it's a free offer. And by the way, I think you'll have fun doing it. It's very, 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 very eye opening. I just
Um,
had a client this morning telling me how utterly and thoroughly embarrassed he was after he went through the assessment, because it was a massive wake up call for him. And he said, "Boy, we got to get going here," which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. He was smart enough to be honest, which everybody's honest in these assessments. He was smart enough to be honest and not fool himself, and said, "Yep, Todd, I completely agree. The world is changing, and I don't want to become irrelevant."
yep, makes sense. Absolutely. Well, Todd, there is one question from Donna. When do you suggest we do the 45-minute call? Should we do it before or after all the sessions?
ASAP.
ASAP.
Time is of the essence, guys.
So you don't suggest that our partners attend the the 5 upcoming ones, or the 4 upcoming ones, sorry, and then get on
No,
the call. Start from now.
I think last session last month, I think I did 15 assessments from the workshop we did last month. I can't. I don't mean. I don't want to scare anybody. I get paid for telling people the truth. Time is of the essence here, guys, to get into this business. Yeah, it just is. And the more you can learn, the better off you're going to be.
Perfect, thank you. Well, Donna's also like answering you, Todd, and she's saying, what if we don't really have something at this stage? Should partners that like are at a stage where they want to attend more sessions before booking the call, I think that can also be fair.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure,
So it's
cool.
really up to you, so long as, and we're really not controlling this in any way. We're not saying you have 1 month to book your session, otherwise it's gone. So long as you attended this track, please feel free to reach out to Todd. And Todd, I know that this session is being recorded. It's gonna be on our YouTube channel. Do you want also to invite folks that are listening to this webinar after the fact to also take you up on the offer, or
Sure.
would that be too much? Yeah.
No, 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 no. That's
No,
fine.
wonderful. Wonderful.
I want my purpose in life is to help Sure Web partners be uber successful. That's it.
That's very generous of you, Todd. Thank you very much. So yeah, hopefully we get a lot of views, and we get help a lot of our partners with even future consultations. So yes, there really aren't any restrictions. We really want our partners to make use of it. As Todd mentioned, he already, from just the first session, he already did it around 15 times. The partners that did the consultation really enjoyed it, and we still have 4 more sessions to go. So please do take Todd up on his offer. And I'm very happy to also say that we have the same number of attendance as our first session, even though we really didn't push out a loud communication this time. We just really are working on that class of participants. So please make sure to continue to join us as we build up on our discussions throughout until June. So this track will definitely keep going until June, 1 session per month. As you know, the topics are all within the GoToMeeting landing page. And please do take Todd up on his offer, because partners are really enjoying it. So I don't see any additional questions coming in. So folks, we do have 9 more minutes to go. We can give it a minute or two and then give you back your time. Or of course, if you have more questions coming in, please keep them coming. Right, Todd, it looks like no more questions at that point. So would you like to share any closing remarks before we end the session? Oh, we have one more. Oh, thank you, Alex. Alexander said, very nice webinar with Todd. I really enjoy it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
I love doing these things. And again, my purpose in life, truly, SureWeb they're great people, and I love working with them. And I'm sure if you are not yet, I'm sure you will as soon as you do. But our goal is to turn you into cloud revenue producers and build a high value business.
Thank you so much, Todd. Yes, we truly believe that by sharing industry best practices, it's not just about talking products, it's not just about talking about features. When we really build a community together of vendors, partners, and cloud providers, and we really help share industry best practices, we will all grow together, and that's really the main focus of our educational and out of our educational programs and of the partner university that we are building. So that's one of the biggest projects that we have at SureWeb running for this fiscal year. We will keep on building and working with amazing consultants like Todd, and keep an eye out also for the next one where we will be featuring Carl Palachuk to help really dive into the world of bundles and creating your strategy and your go-to-market strategy around selling bundles, not one-off solutions. So that's really a very, very hot topic, and it's going to be the second round of MSP Practice in a Box webinars and trainings, and many, many more to come that we are preparing for within this year and the next years to come. So really hope that you're enjoying these industry trainings where we're really not talking about anything that's SureWeb specific, but really just sharing best practices about how we can all grow together. Thank you, David. Yes, Carl is great for sure, and we're really looking forward to this one. And thank you so much, Todd. I'm personally learning a lot from just these two, and I really look forward for the next ones. It's a pleasure working with you, Todd. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Everyone have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.